We have so many stories in our lives, but our stories are not always heard. On the Hear My True Story podcast, we tell our own true stories.
Before the white car backed, our head teacher had scattered. Looking at him, I could only see his tie that was flying backwards, waving at us, and he disappeared in thin air.
I want to share my life story. I want to share my voice with the people because I know that just a small joke I can tell through this podcast, it will make someone smile.
When you ask me what I fear most in life, I would definitely respond to you and say it's fear itself.
We are fighting for togetherness. We are fighting for equal rights. We are fighting to end injustice.
You don't have to be a storyteller or writer because, guess what? Life writes the best stories.
Hear my true story.
This is your favorite time of the week with your number one podcast.
Hear my true story.
Our dear listeners, welcome to the Hear My True Story podcast. It is me, your host, Otako, and this week we have a wonderful guest. And guess what? We have had this guest many times on this podcast, but because we always like to hear people's stories, hear people's wonderful experiences. We have a musician based in Marburg, German, and will be telling us his personal story. I mean, why he does music, what kind of music does he do, and what is the message for the music that he does. So I'm really happy to have him again on our wonderful podcast.
This week's special guest on your favorite podcast.
Hear my true story.
Yeah, my brother, I would like you really to introduce yourself to our dear listeners before we start.
My name is Oggie Lauer, and I lead the band called Rising Fire Reggae Band, and I live in Marburg, and it's my pleasure to be invited to be in this studio today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Oggie. Yeah, for this time that you have given me and the conversation telling our true stories. Yeah.
Yes.
So the question comes up, what kind of message do you say out in your music? What kind of message do you give out to people in your music?
The main message in reggae music is to, to break down the boundaries. When I say breaking down the boundaries, I mean, as I've said it already, we are all one people. We are all God's children. We are fighting for togetherness. We are fighting for equal rights. We are fighting to end injustice. When I say injustice, I mean we need to have chances for everyone without judging people from their appearance, without judging people from their colors. We need equal rights and justice for everyone, for a black man, for a white man, for an Indian man, for a Chinaman. It doesn't matter. But what we want is this togetherness, to see the world that we can lead this world together. Not other people, they're discriminated because they are from Africa, they are from South America. And no, we are all the citizens of this one global world. And this is what we need. Look, for example, sometimes we sign contracts of peace. We negotiate to have peace. But those contracts are being signed. They are written on papers. And after signing them, They are taken, they are put into cupboards and then they lock it. You can't change anything with that. The changing of anything in this world is by starting of changing our mindset. We can sign contracts on whatsoever on papers, but if we don't start changing things with the changing mindset of ours, nothing will happen. Before we sign something on a paper, we have to have fresh mindset. Is when we can say we can sign contracts because then now we understand. But if we just sign something that we don't understand without changing our mindset, it will take us nowhere. We will always be at the zero level. Now, we are preaching about love. Love. We should love one another. We should not murder one another, killing each other because of being black, because of being white. This has to stop. We are talking about racism. Racism. We are talking about tribalism. This has to stop. We are all one people.
Okay, so I really understand what you really shared with us, that you really focus on real issues that can bring us together as one people in one global village.
Yes.
So do you use also true stories in your music? Are you inspired by certain things that you live or certain things that you experience in life to do your music?
Oh, yes. This is one thing for the viewers. You should understand that when a black man stands on a stage, we don't stand on stage without a message behind our music. If a black man stands on a stage, we are talking about our experiences, what we have gone through, the challenges. I've gone through racism. I've gone through, being judged because of the way I look like, because of the dark skin I have. I can give you an example where someone was judging me, just saying maybe this guy is a refugee, he's a thief, he will steal my stuff, And those are the things we are talking about in our music. So we talk about true stories we have gone through. So when I go on stage, the songs we sing, the songs I write with the group, those are the things we have gone through, and we neutralize our problems in storytelling, in storytellings, in singing and make them into songs. This is how we work the pains that we have in our hearts.
And the joys that you also have in your heart. Yes. Exactly.
So when someone, for example, would call me, like this N-word, as for me, of course, it's bad, but I take that person, I will sing, I will write a new song about that, and I will sing about it.
So, that's so nice to hear that you use also your music. Does it also work to you sometimes as your personal therapy or like your personal healing strategy using your personal music?
Yes, it does. I mean, music is, I will call it an international language. Even if I hear reggae music in Chinese, I'll still feel it because the music speaks an international language. So it heals my soul also. When I stand on stage and I sing, that's what I've transported to the people. The people give me the feedback, the way they have received it, the positive feedback, and this heals me. When I see that people, they can enjoy the music, they are dancing, the audience are dancing, and the audience want to hear more songs, this gives me a feedback that what I'm doing is good. And this frees my soul also to say, I am free from the mental slavery of the problems that I was having before I stood on stage.
Wow. I like that. I can really understand your statement. Yeah. Me, I used to do comedy on stage, storytelling. But every time I stood on stage and I told a story, personal story, true story, inspired by a true experience, I always got that happiness. I got back my energies. I really lost being stressed, and I really became back. I became so strong after doing such a thing on stage.
Yes.
And I think it's so beautiful for we artists that we enjoy these things.
And I cannot imagine this to work in another way, because, for example, if you are hungry, you eat something, you are happy again. You have power and you feel like, now I feel good. You are smiling again. It's just the same also for a musician. I have something in my heart that troubles me, but the time I'm in a studio recording, I'm singing all the problems out. And then when I hear the results of my music, what I was doing, how people, they like it, how people, they love the music. Oh man, this is good what you have done. That is the food that I get, the positive energy or food that I get from the people that tells me, oh, what you have done is really nice. You could have maybe healed also some people who came to the show in a bad mood. They came maybe crying. Some of them, they are really down. But when they hear the message, this is what I needed. And then they go home, smiling and feeling better and feeling good. And this gives me also a strong energy to say, yes, this is it.
Wow, that's so nice too. I just want to ask something. How is it for you as a person, a black person, heading a band in a country or in a place like Germany, that is as a big percentage of people, white people, and of course in Marburg? How is it for you? You talked about racism, you talked about discrimination. How is the music career in that line?
I'm enjoying the music with the band that I have now. The thing is, if you do music with people who are not professional, you will always have challenges. You will always have problems. Even though in the band I've never experienced any tribal remarks or any racism. I've never heard anything about that. It is because now I have professional musicians who are also thinking like I do. We are carrying this thing. We are like a family. We know what we want in this music as a group, as a band. So it makes easier for me also even to lead the group, because the people are matured enough. Those are professional musicians. And when I open my mouth, when we touch a note, when we are jamming together, when I touch a note, they know exactly what I mean. They know exactly what to play. And those are matured musicians that make music also to, that the music is played in an easy way. Of course, it's not an easy thing to lead a band. It's like leading a political party. It's not easy. But if you have people who have the same goal also, who have the same dream as you do, it's done easier to get to the top where you want to be. But in this genre of music, you meet a lot of different artists. Some of them, they would say they joined the band, but because their aim is something else, you see them that they'll be jumping from one band to another. They are not focused. They just, they're playing there. Okay, I jump there. They can't remain in one band. They'll be jumping up and down. And those are the people you will be having even in political parties that you see, all of a sudden they come to join. They just want to eat. And then when things are hard, they leave, they join another political party. And it takes time to find also professional musicians who are also meaning the same, what you also, the imagination that you have. You are carrying this now. If you find those people, the band is set in this strong. And this is what I have now. I have professional musicians who are settled and they really know what they want. Those are people not who are jumping from one band to another. They are not band nomads. I call them band nomads. They are not band nomads who are looking for green pastures somewhere else. They are. And this is really good, and it helps you also to create more music, to be creative. Because if you have people who are there to stay in the group, you have also you can also create new music. You have fresh ideas. They bring in their ideas, their good ideas, and then you combine all these good ideas together, then the music is maintained. And you even hear also the change of the music, what you do. The sounds, when you finish, you are smiling, like, yes, this is what I wanted.
Okay, so other than in the band, I mean, in the business, the music business, doing music business in a German perspective.
Yes.
How was it for you to run it as a black person, running a band with diversity, gigs and that? How was it like?
It depends on where you are performing. Sometimes you would have, there are sound engineers, as a black guy, you travel there with your band, you go there to perform, and you must know that before you go there, you have to sign a contract with the festivals. They send you the contract and you agree on the, on the money, how much are they going to pay, and then you agree each other, you sign the contract, you send it back. But, when you come there, sometimes you have some of the sound engineers, they prefer to ask maybe a white guy how the stage should be set. You see? So they would even pass by without talking to you. But when they go there, they are being sent back and say, no, you can't talk to me. I'm not the band leader. So the band leader is there. The boss is there. So you have to go back to him and ask him how to set up the stage. Me, I can't tell you. I'm also a musician in the group. I play an instrument, but ask the band leader. He's the one who is going to tell us how to stand and where does he want me to stand as a guitarist or a keyboard player or a drummer. Go ask him. You see how some of them, they find it difficult to come back to you and talk to you and to ask.
I cut you a bit, yeah. Have you ever experienced something like that? You as a person, if you wish to share, you can share it. If not, it is okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I think 2 times I've experienced that. The sound engineer was very rough to us. He was really a kind of like, first of all, he didn't talk to me. He went direct to ask the other person, what do you need? And the other person sent him back, say, no, ask the boss there what we need and what.
So, the other person, who's the other person?
My other musicians, because the band, it's, I may guess that sometimes for the other white guys, it's easier for them to go and ask the other white guy what is needed on stage. Whereby I find it sometimes very difficult to understand. Why can't you ask me? I'm standing there in front of the stage. I'm tuning my guitar. I'm looking into your face and you're passing by. You know that I'm an artist who's going to play there on that stage, and you pass by. You go behind me to ask the other guy, just because the other guy is also white, how are we going to set the stage? I find it weird. It's really weird because as a band, we are like a family. He can also ask me, maybe you have an idea? Do you have a stage plan? Can you give me? But they pass by. Until again, they're sent back. No, don't ask me. Ask the guy who passed by there in front how we are going to set up the stage, because he's the boss of the band. And then you see how they go like, scratching their heads. And, me, I just look. I'm like, I'm waiting. You come back to me. Come back. Ask. And then you see how they struggle to come to you. 5 meters, you are standing 5 meters, the guy will start struggling to come to you. And then he would come, in a way of, in a rough way. He even changes now. And you're like, what's your problem? passed by. Now you're sent back to ask me in a normal way. Not like that. I signed a contract as an artist to come here to perform. I have nothing to lose. If you want to treat me like this, I can take my musicians, I drive back, and I will get the half of the money they will pay me. Because I signed a contract. So if you want to behave like that to me, it's up to you. Please, if we want to work together, let us work together in a normal way and approach me in an civilized way, but not seeing me because of my appearance and you want to undermine me. No, I lead the band. So what do you want? What do you want to know? Then you say that, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. What do you want? Tell me. Do you need a stage plan? Yes. Take it out. I give him. This is our stage plan. I stand with him. I say, look, the drummer is going to stand there and the keyboard player is there and the bass player is there. So I need, to have them like this, Things are done, But, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. But I love what we are doing. I'm enjoying it, to see different cities in German, It's good. It's good. But it's always, a long journey.
Make sure to leave a review. This makes our day and fuels future episodes. Hear my true story.
As a musician, have you ever collaborated with other musicians already here in Germany or back home in Zambia or in other parts other parts of the world?
We haven't. We were supposed to do that past 2 years ago, but we could not go on our tour. The tour was cancelled. The concert were cancelled because of COVID-19. Just after announcing the concert we were supposed to have, and then the COVID-19 came, destroyed everything. Whereby you were thinking like, oh, but we wanted to have this artist to join us, featuring us. We just, I remember, I do recall we had once, it was in Bavaria, the concert, the tour we had in Bavaria. We had one Rastaman, a DJ, who came to, I called him on stage because he was when you go on festivals, there are groups who start first, the 4 groups. And the guy, he was a DJ and he played first. And then he was playing reggae also. And I loved his music. And I was like, oh, I will introduce you in one of the songs. I will just call you spontaneous on stage and come and do something. So I called him. He came on stage, and he mashed up the stage, and he was really a good artist. So he did it well, but we could not do it further because COVID-19 and this and that stuff.
So as an artist, me, I talk on my perspective. COVID-19 made also our world tour to be cancelled. And we couldn't travel these countries that we are going to travel in around the world because of COVID-19. So to you, as a musician, how did you manage with the band in the times of coronavirus, in the times of COVID-19? How did you manage to handle the band?
I think COVID-19 is a challenge to every musician. But I think the good thing was that each one of us, as I told you, I have professional musicians, matured people, they could rehearse home also. You see? So you just agree each other, okay, what songs are we going to do? These songs must be played like this. And then they go home, our bass player is from Berlin. My brother Jeff is a Zambian also, the legendary on bass. And he knows all the songs and he would rehearse at home in Berlin alone. And then our drummer is Serge, legendary. He's from Ivory Coast, but he lives in Paris, and he does his rehearsals there and he knows the songs also. And so, as for us, we from Marburg City. So we would meet every Sunday, we do something together, we rehearse it together. The music was still going on, music is still going on. It does not stop.
Okay.
Even though we had a lot of challenges of, keeping the social distance, but we did not let COVID-19 to destroy our music. We kept on going.
So I really understand your idea that you worked alone at home. You did home office for every band member did home office. The one from Berlin, Paris, Marburg. So it's really wonderful that you have so many people placed over German and France, Europe, all over the world. That's really beautiful too.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I want to know more. How did you manage the financial crisis? Because there were no gigs anymore. As a band, you need to survive on working. You need to survive on gigs. You need to get people to call you on festivals to get paid.
True. I'm a musician, and also I work as a pedagogue. That's my other profession. So I'm a pedagogue from my other profession, and it's not easy. And for the fact that people, they were using a lot of online platforms, so everywhere you open up your every time you open your laptop, you want to see something on Facebook, you just see people they're performing online, and it was a kind of somehow then getting to an extent of boring, So you couldn't say, okay, we tried to organize something that people, they can pay online, PayPal stuff, but then I came to realize that it doesn't really make much sense. I could survive because I have another job. It's not only music, and I have a job where I also get the source of my income every month. So I think this is what saved me as a musician, because I didn't know where to go to as an artist the concerts are cancelled. I didn't know if the state could pay us. I was hearing some rumors that you can apply to the state. You can tell them that you're an artist and the concerts are cancelled, and you are supposed to have how many concerts, this and that, and then they can maybe refund you that money. But here in Germany, everything is very bureaucrat. It's a lot of paperwork. So just for a small thing, you have the folder of papers, and I didn't have that time because I was working also at the same time. So we just tried to survive,
All the members of the band have something they do aside other than music, or is it only you?
No, they have also other jobs they do.
Then you're lucky.
Yes, they have all the other jobs they do.
Yeah, you're lucky.
Which is really important, because you can be an artist, especially in Germany. For me, it was very important to do my studies. Even though I am a musician, I do music, but still, I wanted to finish up my studies, and then I get focused also in my music. But if something would get hard, in the music industry, you can still say, I'm a learned pedagogue and social worker. I can go back to my work and and work and do my work. So it's better to have both.
Okay, that's really nice to hear. And because I personally, I do storytelling, I do theater, I do workshops, trainings. But when COVID-19 came, 2 hours cancelled, many things were cancelled. I was not having another job. So I found it really difficult.
I believe.
And I really went on to doing online. Of course, I was not being paid, but I could heal myself by just saying, let me share my own stories online.
Yes.
And I started a podcast, which of course also I'm not paid, because people just listen. Though I pay to have a podcast, I pay to host a podcast, I'm not paid. Yeah. So I really understand. So at the end of it, I had to go back to school, and I'm now studying.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you could do.
Yeah, because when I came from Uganda, I couldn't just continue doing theater or storytelling here, and my qualifications from Uganda couldn't make me to get a job in Germany. So I had to go back again to school. to professionalize my other career.
But I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of the decision that you made to go back to your studies. And this, I love to hear people who wants to study and to do that. We have all talents and dreams whatsoever. It's fine. Yes, it will remain like that because it's part of our life. It's part of our identity. That's what we do, musicians. But if you have the chance of studying something, do it first. Study, finish your studies, and then after you finish your studies, then you can also say, now I want to focus in my musical way, because, life in German is very difficult.
Yeah.
Depending on music, it's a challenge. It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge. So I like it. I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Very proud of you, my brother.
Thank you.
Well done.
Brother. Yeah. Thank you so much. You remember the time I came to you to seek that colleague advice.
Yes.
And now, you see, I'm already in school. Yeah.
I love it.
So, going back to our band and music, what was your worst experience of doing music here in Germany? Is there any worst experience with the band that you felt like, no, I should stop this band?
I wouldn't say that I had, I'm a kind of a person like, it's very difficult. It takes time to break me down. I had a lot of musicians who left the band, but they did not discourage me to stop the band. I'm a person like, okay, this musician has gone. People, they go for a purpose. There's a reason why the people, they go. So I had changes a few years ago. The drummer left. The guitarist went. But of course, you feel like, oh, I trusted these guys. I thought we were on the same dream and this and that. But life comes with some surprise sometimes. But they did not discourage me to do my music, but they made me 10 times stronger. Because I am a person who accepts the decision of others. If they want to go, I let them go. But I say there's a purpose why they had to go. Changes are meant for good. Of course, I would struggle to find other musicians, but it does not matter because I know what I want. I know where I want to get up to. And this is what gives me energy to say, I won't stop. It doesn't matter what, I won't stop. Let them go. Other people will come. They will take the instruments that are there to be played. Let them come. Let the others go. But the changes are meant for good. I don't see it as a negative thing. Now, oh, I've lost someone, he left the band, and now what am I going to do? No, I'm not such kind of a person who thinks like that. It doesn't work. It does not exist in my world. Because I know if you know what you want in life, you are focused on that what you want in life. Even if changes are made, you get more confident and you are 10 times stronger.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter. Hear my true story.
Wow, that's nice to hear. So what is your most the moment that you remember a lot that was so beautiful with you and the band and this career as a musician? What moment that you remember that you say, this moment was really a beautiful moment that I would always remember it?
The first time we played the concert in Marburg city, uptown, in 2000, I think, was it 19? I think it was 19, if I'm not mistaken. If you have professional musicians around you and you come on stage, you hear the sounds, how the music is played, you feel like, boah, who am I? Where am I right now? Because you hear every sound is getting deep down your blood and you are feeling the music. And the audience, you see the audience, they are feeling also the music. This is the greatest moment you can ever have as an artist. And that moment, that magical moment, I had it. And the time also we went to, when we had a concert in Bavaria, I think it was Africa Fest, Deckendorf. It was amazing. It was very energetic, you know. So we played in the evening. We were the headliners. So, you know, everybody's expecting, is waiting for the headliner to come. So we did our sound check, and then food was served for us. We ate food, and then after we said, let's go on stage, start playing. Then you see, because the people they've seen the music, they've heard the music from the organizer, and then they know exactly what they are expecting. And then we enter the stage, we start playing. Hey, people, they enjoyed it, you know. And the people, they left their shops where they were, say, you know, in Africa Fest, you have people from Africa, they are selling their goods. They have like what you call, Africa shops, you know. They sell souvenirs and this and that. And I remember the best moment was this Rastaman from Kenya. He has a huge shop in he goes to every Africa Fest. So I started playing. Now we play the songs, we play Lucky Dube. All of a sudden he left his shop, come running to the stage. He looked at me. So we played, and people, they are cheering in the audience, and people, and we had to stop because the time is now running out. And the organizer, now we have to stop now. Because according to the time, we have to stop, no concert anymore. And people, they are screaming, they want more. No, they can't go. We want more music. And you are like, wow. And then the organizer had to, you know, like, okay, let us negotiate, please. Please, only one song. Then one song, when they play one song, then that's all. We want 5 songs, screaming the audience. And then we played again. Unfortunately, we played one song. And then after the show, right when I was going down the stage, this Rastaman guy from Kenya, he grabbed my hand. He was like, come here. I was like, what is going on? You know, I didn't know what I was expecting. Come here, come to me. I went with him to his shop. He introduced me to his wife. This is my wife. This is my shop. What do you want in the shop? Take it. And you know, for the first time, and I'm like, what's going on here? He was like, I've never, you know, a long time since Lucky Dube is dead, I've never seen a concert from Lucky Dube Band. But when I heard the first song, Remember Me, on stage, I was thinking maybe it's Lucky Dube singing. I had to run to come to the stage. I'm so happy. You made my day today. I'm going to sleep well. I'm free. You just brought Lucky Dube's spirit here alive. And take, what do you want in my shop? Take it for free. Choose. Go get your sister. She should choose for free. And I went and I chose a t-shirt, you know, a good, nice t-shirt. And he was like, take it. Another, take the souvenirs. What do you want? Take it. And that was the best moment I had in life, to see that people can appreciate the music we do.
Wow, that's so beautiful. That's beautiful. I could really feel it when you're saying it to me. Yeah. So, you mentioned something before we end this conversation with you. Yeah. You talked about the thing of your band sometimes also plays Lucky Dube music. How come that you also play Lucky Dube music in your band on concerts?
Because I'm grown up with Lucky Dube music. And that's why for me, Lucky Dube is an icon where I'm looking up to. That's why I even started doing reggae music. It's because of Lucky Dube. Because I am very much inspired of his music and the way these guys, they used to perform on stage. I would sit home before I started doing music. I would sit home watching the shows of Lucky Dube, hours and hours. I'm watching one after another. And because of his music touches me a lot. I feel his music. And for the fact that the songs he's singing, the lyrics, they talk about the real life, what he has experienced in life. And this is what I'm seeing also, what is going on, injustice, against racism and this and that, apartheid and this. And this is what I have seen also. And is the same I'm talking about also. And that's why I'm so passionately in love and inspired by Lucky Dube. And that's why we bring his music in and we rehearse with all of our energy just to have the touch of the music of Lucky Dube.
Oh, wow.
Because I love his music so much.
So you have the rights to play his music on stage?
Yes, we have the rights, yes.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
We even have the rights also to record the songs.
Wow.
And to put them on a CD also. As long as we don't change them, but we can record them and put them on a CD. We have the rights and we got a contract that we are allowed to do that.
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, Lucky Dube is a big icon in Africa.
Yes.
I think also all over the world.
All over the world.
Yeah, but I was so surprised that here some people in Europe, here in Germany, didn't know about Lucky Dube.
Yes, mostly more than in South Africa itself. A prophet is never known in his home. So you have to go somewhere, and at least Lucky Dube is known much more than in Europe, more than in his own home country, South Africa.
Okay.
Yes.
I think we can have another day a conversation to talk about Lucky Dube.
Sure.
And that could be really a good conversation.
Definitely.
To talk about Lucky Dube.
I would love
and
it.
How he inspired you in your music, in your own music that you do.
And he is the reason why I started to play guitar. I started playing guitar, learning guitar at the age of 16, teaching myself.
Wow.
I was teaching myself how to play guitar, autodidactic, and I didn't go to school for learning guitar, or I was just learning for myself.
Wow, that's so beautiful to hear. Yeah, that's so nice. Yeah. So, what would you say to someone that is listening to this podcast and is coming from Africa and maybe is living in Europe and he has this talent of doing music and maybe gave up? What would you tell them? Can they really survive as Black African people living in Europe or in Germany to continue with doing music, or they are living in the US, or they are living in the white community?
Yes, there is always a door open. The important thing is, I will be mentioning this again and again. Stay focused in what you want to become. Stay focused in what you are doing. People would come and one will say this and that, but stay in your lane and you know what you want. The secret that you have in your heart is good that it's your secret. Nobody else knows it. Because if they would open your heart and see what is in your heart, you will have more enemies than you had before. So the important thing is, don't stop doing what you are doing. Stay in it and focus and do much rehearsals. If you are studying, learn 24 hours. It doesn't matter, 24 hours, learn. But at the end of the day, it pays you back. Never give up. Never have a spirit of giving up something because it's not working. In 6 months' time, it's not working. You feel lazy. Nothing. No, there are fruits coming. Stick on what you want to become. Stick on that and keep on moving forward. Moving forward. Never look behind. Tomorrow is a new day. Doors are being opened. New doors are opening. One is closed, one is opening.
Yeah.
And get connected.
I like that statement. That's so nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what would you like to say before we end this conversation? Is there anything that you'd like to share with our listeners that you have forgotten to talk about?
Listeners, I love you so much. And you can search out for Rising Fire Reggae Band. If you type on YouTube, you type Rising Fire. It will show you Rising Fire Marburg. Just click there. That's the band I'm talking about. And on Facebook, you find us under Rising Fire with a big logo of a lion. That's us. And you can click on it and you can subscribe and you can share the music with your friends. And if you have wishes from Rising Fire, like Rising Fire, we would like to talk to you, you Oggie, and yeah, you can write anytime. Let me know. You'll find the my address on the Facebook homepage, my phone number. And yeah, sure, we can get into a conversation. So,
is your music also on Spotify, Apple Music?
You will find
Amazon
it on
Music?
Spotify, and there is a Rising Fire African Reggae, and sure.
Okay, that's nice to hear. That means that someone can also find it on Apple Music and all other platforms.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's so beautiful.
And I want to say thank you to you, my brother Otako, for giving me this opportunity to talk to you.
Thank you too for hosting me.
To have good interviews.
Yeah, to always be there.
I want to thank the family and my brother in Kenya, Geoffrey Kimani. I want to thank my band, Rising Fire crew. And yeah, you'll get to know all of them on Saturday. Yes. So we are having a jam session together. My musicians are coming. The drummer from Paris is coming. The bass player from Berlin, my brother Jeff, is coming. So we will be there. We are around. So come and mingle with us and have your own picture of what we are doing.
I will definitely. Thank you for inviting me for that jamming session. And I'll be there and I'll enjoy the music. Thank you for always following our podcast. Hear my true story.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
We not only have voices for a podcast, but also faces for YouTube. Don't miss your next episode. Hear my true story.
Thank you for listening to our podcast, Music by Edwin Matovo, hosted and produced by Otako. Subscribe to our podcast for more stories and visit us on our website, hearmytruestory.com, for more stories. All the links are listed in the show notes of this podcast.